is over this way. Like, okay. This is gonna sound real silly. The other day, we might have saw you two going through the woods.
We might have got a little bit of a
you should have
peek.
said something.
We almost did. We almost tried to rob you. You know how it is.
Oh.
Even though I saw your nameplate that you were wearing before, it took me until just now to realize that was
Yes,
you.
You were near Bill the Wizard.
That is correct. We was actually hiding in our fort right there. You climbed right on top of it.
That you did.
You get the feeling if you hadn't rolled a 1 in perception, you might have immediately found their fort.
That's fine. This way we got to explore even more of the woods.
Yeah, that's fair. We was mostly gathered up. Delphi's like keeping her distance slightly. Ned is dragging her. No, it's fine. I like them. They're good. They're swell. I'm worried about them.
It'll be okay. Don't worry. We can handle them. We already did.
I mean, that's the thing. They're already demoralized to the point where they're not going to try anything. Besides, we got a birthday party to go to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or you do. I haven't been
How
invited.
do you know about the birthday party?
I have to go.
You cross over into an earlier area of the woods. You immediately recognize the, area of the woods you're going through. The babbling brook sort of, continues peaceably rolling by to your immediate left. You recognize the rock that Delphi ran over to and stood on top of. You see your little bloom sprite friends frolicking around in the water.
So
they've
it's
come
over
so
here then?
far. I wonder if they carved waiters.
I mean, you could probably show them later.
Are they drowning?
I don't think they're drowning. They're mostly insubstantial, like their damp clothing at worst, which could theoretically sink. Delphi suddenly looks puzzled and concerned.
I'm sure they're fine. I mean, they probably wouldn't have gone in the water if they didn't realize they, couldn't swim or anything.
That's true. That's a good way of thinking about it. I'm gonna worry less about that.
Yeah, no, they're fine.
What are those things?
I don't like them.
I don't like them one bit.
They look like that monster used to hang around out back the sheds.
By the shed, classic shed monster. Yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say we should invite them to my party.
Oh, that is
They're
an
a
adorable idea.
They're apprentice woodworkers.
I've got an idea. Delphi skitters off.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I guess they might also be shed monsters, but those two things seem unrelated.
It was just some sort of creature that used to... It's like a shed over yonder, Gunch points over. Used
I think
to be
they're
like
talking about old Grindy.
From deep within the backpack.
That's it! That's the monster! They Scooby-Doo. Crunch jumps into Gunch's arms. Delphi scoots back over. She's carrying, you notice her arm's still in a sling, but she's got braced up on her, shoulder and back, a gigantic bundle of wood. Now that they've got how do I put it? The urge to work? Maybe we can attract them over to the Crossroads with just, a path of uncompleted tasks.
That's hilarious. Let's try it.
That's how my dad used to get me to come down to breakfast.
Just breadcrumbs of a to-do list?
No, bread is foreign and a little scary.
My apologies, I forgot your culture.
Scoots around. She starts putting down log after log with immediately next to it safety goggles, a little bit of a hand saw.
I feel like we're gonna need a lot more to get back to the town.
Yeah, she makes it 20 paces and then stops. Didn't think this through. The four continue just messing around in the water. They seem to be completely disinterested in work.
Ned wanders over, stands completely still, and an exclamation point pops over his head.
Creatures stop and just move around you.
Ned stops, stares, and then goes, "Greetings. You seem to want a birthday party."
They begin to exchange looks.
If you'd like to complete this quest, please bring one present to this location at this time. Nothing is given to them, but if they actually try to focus on what he's saying, they will see arrows pop up and draw them towards quest markers.
Oh man, they're gonna bring me presents. This'll be a disaster. It's perfect.
They begin to as they walk, they begin to gather up actually the just scattered logs and tools on the ground.
Hey, Delphi, I'm kind of worried. He's really powerful.
He's scarier than Crunch and Gunch.
That's
Grunch,
not hard, Delphi.
Crunch.
Firefly is just taking notes. She's like, okay, I need to report that.
Yeah, Ned seems to hold a fascinating charm over the creatures. They wander behind him, grabbing at him, almost testing to see if he's real or not.
Alrighty, folks. Well, we're not too far from town now. We got a lot to take care of before the party. Which reminds me... runs into the woods, switch back to Celine.
Here, I'm throwing an invite into the woods so Firefly can come too. Yeah. She chucks a piece of paper with nothing on it into the woods.
You see a portal hand pop out of a tree, grab it, and disappear back into the wall.
So did you crumple it up? Because what I initially imagined was you walk over to the side of the woods, and you were just like, eh! And it just goes and goes 1 foot, and then drops to the ground.
That is exactly what happened.
Suddenly something hits the ground next to you, Atticus, like a sack of potatoes.
Oh. You're back.
What is that?
What in the heck is that? Oh no, is it another monster?
That's what he looks like.
Oh, hey, Sprout. Celine just gently picks up Sprout. How you doing, buddy? You have been a hard little worker today, you know that?
Sprout nods vigorously. It's really hard to actually know what its emotions are because his mask seems unchanging.
I think Celine's kind of picked up a couple of cues. She doesn't fully understand Sprout, but she knows at least when he's happy.
Does he still have the beads or whatever on his question mark that jingle when he walks?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure.
Oh, your little crab. You want me to carry that for you, buddy?
Sprout wiggles his arms towards it like he's trying to pick it up.
All right, I got this. Come on. And she just kind of scoops it up under one arm and then is about to hand it over. Do you have the ability to grab this?
Sprout stops and looks at Stubbs.
I mean, you could probably... He's got enough length on that to probably secure it to his head.
Is he crying?
Wait a minute. It's time to make a little seatbelt. Hold on. And she uses the little question mark doinker to kind of seatbelt tie the crab to his head.
The crab is
Perfect. Look at
belted
that.
in.
Look at that. You're totally... Yeah, no, perfect. All right, you've been
Aw,
walking a lot
Wiggles
today.
excitedly.
You've been walking a lot today.
I'm nuts for automotive safety.
Okay, we might be setting a monster on the boss.
There's no more about it.
What, this little guy? Are you kidding me? No, Sprout's the most kind, pleasant creature I've ever encountered.
Sprout turns arms and heads towards the Gunch and Crunch.
Oh no!
Crunch, excuse me.
It's approaching.
Oh, he does know hexes, though, so careful with that.
Oh no! Oh no! Not getting hexed again! Not today!
Careful, there's a... Oh no, that's not where the spider is. Were the bees down there?
These
Does
aren't
anyone
down there, there's
remember?
a crabs.
There's a fun slide.
So, do you just want to point those guys at the Crossroads? I think they'd probably be fine over there. Probably.
Are we going home, or are we gonna go see this bandit first?
Yeah, I think we should probably handle the health potion thing. Should we leave
Delphi.
your little friends here?
Delphi,
What's that?
there's a sheep.
Oh, is that... She turns around. Oh, that's Wellspath. I was wondering what he got up to. She starts
Oh.
to whistle. The sheep scoots over and just... impacts the side of her.
I can't tell them apart. I wasn't sure if it was a new one.
No, this is actually one of the wandering ones. I think he came back here after helping us cross, the river a while back? What have you been up
okay.
to, bud? Kind of, ruffles the fluff.
You know, I could probably just take these two back to town. I'm not worried about them causing trouble. I'm more worried about, they'll just get lost.
I'm
Are
a
you-
little worried about that, too. is Wizard Bill the secret entrance or the normal entrance?
That's not neither of the entrances. Wizard Bill is actually something we discovered on top, and that is a good moniker, and we have been using it.
I love just slam cut to them just back like listening to our mumbled voices walking above them. It's Wizard Bill, Wizard Bill. Wizard Bill, these guys
Wizard
are
Bill,
geniuses.
shoot, Wizard Bill.
Yeah, if you want to, like, send us back, that's okay. We could probably help you get in, but I am going to be honest. Even for a bandit, I am afraid of confrontation, and I do not want to let the boss know that we have betrayed him.
Well, your
Well, how
secret's
about-
safe with me.
Unless he comes to the party, in which case it's gonna get awkward.
That will be extremely awkward, but I am willing to put up with a little awkwardness for my share of cake and a hot dog.
Yeah, all right. I mean, we might as well just fill up and enjoy some treats, and then go to your boss's place or whatever. I think that seems like the best course of action. And then, once we're done with all that, we'll celebrate with fireworks.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
All right,
That's what I'm thinking.
we'll get going then.
Get back to Crossroads, and the second you round the corner, you feel raw heat radiating off of the bakery. Apparently, Levin is using full force.
I have to see this power. She immediately goes to the counter.
Peeking inside, the forge is spewing flames that lick the tiles past the carpet. Inside the heat, you see the silhouette of some figure, which very shortly steps out, grabs a handful of coals, notices you, and steps over to the counter. He's smoking. Some of his clothing is burnt, but some of it seems to be fireproof. He holds up one finger, walks back into the fire, pulls out something, reaches across, and presents it to you. It's like some sort of little piroshki.
Oh my gosh, I haven't had one of these in a long time.
Are there walls around this building, or is this open air?
This section of the building is open air, yeah. You take a look at the forge. It is clearly on fire right now. That much is plainly obvious. However, this area out front seems to be a counter meant for addressing customers. You can see up above there's a shutter that can be pulled down at night, and though it's not represented on the map, there is sort of like a tent over top of this.
You know, if we want to keep the sprites around and we run out of things for them to do, we could always just put out some freshly baked things and have the scent waft them here.
Yeah, that could always work.
Speaking of which, they walked over.
Levin steps over, tries to hand one to Atticus, realizes it's still steaming hot, tries to blow on it, but smoke comes out misty, steamy, and realizes he's only making it hotter by blowing on
Here,
it.
buddy, I can take
As
care of that.
the smoke washes over Atticus, he's like, "Oh, can I get over into the thing? Is that all right?"
He sees you trying to climb over, puts on some oven mitts, picks you up, and puts you over onto the right side.
Oh, it's industry. Oh, it feels so.
Levin stops you as you step closer to the heat, shakes his head, and then hands you the oven mitts.
Atticus takes out his own safety gloves and puts them on. Like, don't worry, I got this.
He nods, then gives a determined look and steps back into the fire.
The
This
aura
baking
is
ta-
immense.
Celine, mouth just full of baked goods. This baking technique's too advanced for him. He'll never make it.
Yeah, Atticus just stands in this extremely uncomfortable heat and waves of smoke and looks like the most at home you've seen him. Just kind of stands there.
Oh,
like,
that's awesome. Yeah, no, you're standing in the middle of Levin's unique forge, an area of pure and uncontested heat, a bakery without peer, and yet you stand untempered. Somehow, you brace yourself against the heat. In fact, you revel in it.
Maybe there's more to this bread thing than I gave it credit for.
Levin steps out from the fire, holding what looks to be root vegetables. He presents them to Atticus, kneels down, and says, beats.
Steam beats! Steam beats! Atticus happily takes one beat in each safety gloved hand and takes a big bite out of one without waiting for it to cool down. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, it's sweet and it's right out of the fire. I can go out the normal way if you're busy.
He's already picked you up.
Oh. Velvet just walks back and sees Atticus delivered as though he is a bread.
You, having left the kitchen, you feel like a wash of cool air over you. Suddenly it's not so hot. The raw, baking aura leaves your body.
The cool and superheated air making like a little storm cloud above this open air market.
You know, Atticus, we should try baking together sometime.
Well, now that I've seen how you actually make this stuff, boy, I thought this was a weird agriculture kind of thing, but that is a raw industrial product if I've ever seen it.
Now, to be fair, Levin's pretty darn advanced. Not every bakery's like this, but yeah, I mean,
Can you do
you
that,
can make something
Celine?
similar. Mom and Dad can for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I dabble in it a little bit. They're definitely the experts. But,
Wow.
I like to play around with it every here and then.
It's hard to think that there's other people out there who are... She pauses for a second, trying to recall and put together Atticus's words. Raw industrial products like Levin.
Yeah, no, Levin's a special case.
From the corner of your eye, you see Levin move a hand and point at what Selena's carrying. He looks mildly confused.
I think you've met Sprout. Oh, come on,
I
Sprout.
gesticulated at him.
I gently set Sprout on the counter.
I'm afraid Sprout looks like a plant. He might just ignite.
Oh, that's a good point. He just kind of slowly pulls
He
it back.
stops when he hears Velvet say that.
Yeah, no, Levin, this is a friend, not food.
Velvet reaches over for, there's gotta be like a spare oven mitt somewhere, and just puts it on Sprout's doinker so he can shake. I don't know how.
Sprout tries to squidge himself on top of the table counter, and
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
this
Okay,
is fine.
I'm gonna give this like 10 more seconds.
Velvet is leaning over the counter, ready to pounce like a rabbit.
Don't worry, I think Firefly's nearby with portals conveniently.
Delphi stops and like scans the horizon.
Levin is just walking around the shop, pointing Sprout at the baked goods.
Sprout eagerly points at this nice golden one.
He lets Sprout pick it up.
He wiggles his arms towards it and hoists it upon top of his mitt.
He can grab things.
The question mark is prehensile.
Levin returns the Sprout.
Hey, you got yourself a little snack. It's almost as big as you.
Sprout then wiggles over and then tries to hand the crab over to the man.
Levin nods and takes the crab.
This is probably fine.
Okay.
This expression the entire time with Delphi nodding. This is
And
okay.
He's learning the basics of exchanging goods.
Leans over the counter again in fear.
Left, who knows where he's going.
Ooh, that is a great... Sprout, come with me. And she just picks Sprout up.
The Bloom Sprites immediately begin viciously attacking the baked goods.
I know you mean eating, but based on our previous encounter, it's
Viciously.
funny to imagine them hacking away at them with axes.
Delphi scoots back after you guys.
I don't know if you check these at the door or what the rule is for animals.
I'm sure it's probably fine.
Oh no,
This
it's
is Delphi's
definitely
place.
fine. Wellspath seems to have taken a liking to you. You notice that the sheep, whenever you come to a complete stop, does that thing that, like, you ever see that video of a manatee just hitting the glass and, like, snout and mask just compress up against you? It's just once. He just touches your leg and compresses inwards.
It's so I know it's still there.
She grabbed some stuff from Glamiel's booth and like fashioned a little tiara for it so she can tell this one apart.
Levin, you notice, brought the crab in and
There you
gave
go.
it to Jillian.
Yeah, that fits really good. Okay.
Okay, I should have figured this was fine.
Velvet hasn't actually interacted with Levin before since when you guys were all doing that, she was fucking around, sprinting around Crossroads. So she's just seen you hand friends off to this very scary fire ogre.
Oh, hey, Levin, just a moment of your time. How's the birthday cake going? You know, extra sprinkles, all the fixins.
He stops for a second and then gives you a look like this.
I know. You know what? I'm sorry. That was unprofessional of me. I should have known you had this under control.
You can actually tell, God, it's weird. He almost smells like, you know what candying sugar smells like, where you're like, you burn a bunch of sugar up? He's got that distinct odor. Didn't smell like that earlier.
Nice. Okay. I knew this was in good hands. I just like double checking, you know, because this is a pretty big deal, you know.
He pats you on the head, his hand easily dwarfing the size of the crown of your head. It's still warm, pretty much, and then he starts walking
he
away
likes
and
you.
starts patting you on the head too.
Squeaky.
It makes like a squeaky
Yep.
noise.
He likes you a lot.
Listen, we're baker buds.
And so is
Like, we get
Atticus,
this.
too, apparently.
Yeah, of course.
Wait. Atticus has a piece of bread from the display, and he's been looking at it through these weird half glasses, half goggles with like way too many lenses for the past several minutes. The chemical structures, the molecules actually change when exposed to the heat of the oven, and the yeast dies off, but it leaves behind these air pockets inside, and the new flavors form. This isn't just industry, it's chemistry!
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what baking and, I guess, cooking are essentially.
Delphi's still making this expression, just smiling and looking at you. Yes.
Yeah, Atticus, I think you could be a pretty darn good baker once you, like, learn the basics and all that jazz.
Will you teach me?
I can certainly try. Like I said, Mom and Dad are definitely the better ones, but I definitely know my way around the bakery.
Okay.
Besides, it'd be a lot of fun to have a baking buddy.
That's such a cute word for it.
Wait a minute. What if we all did some baking?
Well, that sounds great, actually. I mean, I'm terrible at it, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we all start something. Like, listen, I was terrible at it too. I couldn't even crack eggs before.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. No, everyone's bad at stuff first.
That's fair. How do I put this?
Except Firefly.
Blinks twice, making eye contact with you.
Oh, yeah, no, she's always been great.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But anyways.
No, God, whenever I had issues with food, I was actually taught a pretty useful spell. She, holds up her staff for half a second, sort of unslinging it from her back. And then with a suddenly deposited on the ground is just... it's an uncomfortable amount of gravy in like a half saucer. It barely almost slops over the edge. She starts forward, catches it like, "Ugh."
So you can just summon gravy at will? That's just a thing you can do?
Well, I tried to learn create food or water. This is create food and water, so it's like she like makes a wavy hand.
Wait a minute, does that mean you can make soup?
Looks into the middle distance like, why didn't I ever think of that?
You okay there, buddy? Atticus
hello,
notices
Madigo.
Sprout has been dancing.
You look down at Madigo, who is scooping the gravy into a jar.
Oh, is that going to be some new paint?
Oh.
Madigo nods.
You are just the most inventive little bugger.
They scoot off.
Oh, I just pictured Madigo. They just like have this jar of gravy, look at you with big eyes, look down, tongue extends to test the gravy, no expression, disappears into the fog.
It's
Right, well,
not quite that strange, but Madigo does linger by the entrance, just kind of
Yeah, they do that.
staring
Are you all right
at
there,
you.
buddy? You okay? Are they okay? I don't know. I can't get a read.
I think they're okay. I think they're
They're
probably okay. They're holding the gravy.
They're holding the gravy.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, good gravy, am I right?
I'm worried.
Glenmere just
No, thank
walks
you for the pity
in,
laugh. I'm worried too. Manago!
just takes their hand and walks out. All right, come on.
Selene and Delphi, like...
Gravy train, let's
Selene
go.
and Delphi just, like, heavy exhale. Okay,
Oh,
that's
thank
fine.
God. Yeah.
Excuse me, chicken. Excuse me,
Yeah, no,
chicken.
they're in
Goodness.
good hands.
Sprout,
Really
do you
good
need
hands.
a hand getting over the counter?
As he starts wiggling below this particular counter towards the crab.
Oh, he just wants his little crab friend back.
It's probably
Oh,
fine.
yeah, no, go for it. I just put him there because
Jillian,
he
can he
looked
have
like
his
he
crab
wanted to
back?
sit down somewhere, and that little bucket was perfect size. I thought it was cute, so.
He looks like he's thinking for a second, stub to his mouth, and then nods twice.
Ooh,
Now-
you can put the bucket at the end of the little thing, and it'll be like a little well.
Oh, yeah, hey, wait a minute. Didn't you have chickens earlier?
Yes, they're still out there.
Okay, thank goodness. I didn't know where those went, and I was a little concerned.
What happened to the chickens? Crunch and gaunch. Burp.
No, you actually look over and you see that they're sitting at the little picnic table there across from these two random folks.
And that's what I says. That's what I says. You can't get away. You can never get away. Not even by rolling up in a barrel. And he does it anyway.
Where else was I supposed to go? Was it gonna run off into the trees? I was half asleep.
The barrel was... Oh, man. He got... what's the word for it? Suplexed? By some mysterious traveling thief that he did.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, we live a life of danger. Sometimes we find dangerous things under rocks when we're looking for food.
I say, I'm sorry. I'm still processing your names are Crunch and Gunch.
That they be.
That they are. It's a long and sordid tale how we came by these monikers. They begin to narrate. You get the feeling this will take a while. Let's move away from the windows. Let's just move away from the windows. Delphi, like, accidentally pushes part of the counter over. That's fine. It's okay.
Should we see what Velvet's been up to? Because we haven't
Oh,
seen
yeah,
her
that's a
in a
good
little
idea. What's Velvet up to?
Oh, she noticed the sheep was following her and wanted to see if she could get the sprites to follow her, so she was parading them around, chatted with Glenmere for a little while, added a chicken to her convoy, had them hang out in the meadow, and is now rolling around in the flowers like a cat.
Velvet enjoys a peaceful moment away from the group. None of you observe this, but, well, she seems happier when she comes back.
I'm never coming back, bitches. All right.